dress. And you see it's open quite a bit in the back. Got a tie here. If you don't like how open it is, I would recommend putting another tie and just closing it up that way. For me, I left it open, and her little doll has a pretty similar little opening in the back, but that's up to you if you want to leave it that way. I love the way that this Woolies DK cake right here went from, I just started, you know, from what I pulled from the center, the purple, and then it gradually got down to a gray, which I was able to use for her boots. So that worked out really well. With that, of course, you can use any DK yarn and the same hook. We're still going to use our size D hook. And so let's make her little dress so she's not naked. To begin, I've gone ahead and chained 19. So chain 19, and we're going to work single crochet in the second chain from the hook and each chain across. So you will end up with 18 single crochets, and then we'll start our increases. So this is just the first row. We're going top down, so we're working up by her neck right now. This will be the part right by her neck, and then we'll work the bodice of the little dress and then the skirt. So just single crochet all the way down. Okay, now we're ready to work our increases. So chain 1, single crochet 3, two single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet 1, this will be the sleeve, 2 single crochet in the next, and we'll single crochet 6 across for the front, two single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet 1 for the other sleeve, 2 single crochet in the next, and single crochet in the last 3. Okay, and this starts to give us a little bit of shaping, and the next few rows are exactly the same, except for the sleeve. Remember how we just did a single crochet 1? You'll do 3 in that space, and then 5, and then 7, and then 9. So you'll single crochet 3, 2 in the next space, and then your sleeve stitches. So check the written pattern. 2 single crochet, 6 in the front, that always stays the same, and then 2, and however many sleeve stitches you have, single crochet 2, and you'll have 3 left at the end. So work that way all the way to row 6, and you'll have 9 sleeve stitches. Like I said, it's still 3 and 3 on the ends and 6 in the front, and then we'll come back together and do row 7. At the end of row 6, it should look like this, like a little rainbow shape here. or a C. And we're going to divide now for the arms. So we're going to single crochet 5, we'll chain 1 first, and we'll single crochet 5, and now we're going to skip 9. These will become our little sleeve, our armhole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll chain 1 to cover this space. Should have done that before I counted. And now I'm going to work right here. And I'm going to single crochet 10 to go across the front. Okay, here we are. 10, chain 1, do that first before I count this time, then skip 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to work into the stitch, and so this will be single crochet 5, just like we started with. Okay, so this is our little bodice. You see the little armholes, it makes the little sleeves. I didn't do any of the sleeves on hers, but you definitely could come back if you wanted long sleeves and just pick up these stitches and work in these 9 plus the chain 1 and have a little 10 stitches going out if you want, or make a little scalloped edge on it, or whatever you like to do. That's how I left mine for the original. And now we're ready to work the skirt, which is going to be a series of V stitches. So we will always start with a chain 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1. And now we're going to a double crochet right here in this first stitch. And we're going to work a V stitch, which is what this is. So it'll be a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in every other stitch. So skip 1 and then work double, chain 1, double. So skip every other stitch all the way down to the end. When we get down to the end, we have 3 stitches left. So to make this an even V stitch, go ahead and work in the second stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, and now we'll double crochet in the last one just to even out our work. Okay, we're going to turn, chain 4, now we're going to increase with these V stitches. So the way we do that is we work in this first double crochet, get even closer, we're going to work right here with a double crochet. So this makes a V stitch because we had our chain 4. And now you'll work a V stitch in the chain 1 space. So this one will be right here. It'll always be real close to that first V stitch. And now you'll V-stitch in every chain one space. So you see the V here, you work here, and there's a V here, you work here. So just work a V-stitch in every one down to the very last one, and I'll show you how to increase at the end. Okay, I've worked in my last V-stitch, and this was the one that had the chain 4. So we're going to work right here into our starting chain. I'm going to work into this back loop here. There we go. And we're going to work a V-stitch there too. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. There we go, and it gives us kind of a flare here. And you're going to repeat that row 3 more times, where you'll work your first V-stitch into the double crochet, and then V-stitch in each chain space, all the way down to here, and then also V-stitch in the turning chain. So repeat that row 3 more times. Okay, now we are ready to work in rounds. So we're going to join with a slip stitch to our turning chain. Actually, we want to join, leave 1 here for a chain space, and we're just going to join right here in the next one, and then now we're ready to work in the round. So here's how we will do the next 7 rounds. You just slip stitch in the chain 1, chain 4, double crochet in the same space to make a V-stitch, and then you'll do the V-stitch all the way around in each chain space again. And when you come back to this one right here, you'll join with the slip stitch, leaving 1 chain. Okay, let me show you closer. Leave this chain, slip stitch in here, and then you'll just repeat what we just did. You'll slip stitch into the chain 1, chain 4, double crochet, and then work a V-stitch all the way around. And so that will create the bottom of the dress. So do 7 rounds just like this to get the length of the dress. Now, after you've done the 7 rounds, I realize I have not done all of mine, but I wanted to go ahead and show you how to do the end. And it's super easy. You chain 1, single crochet in the same space where you joined with your slip stitch, chain 3, and then find the space in between your V-stitches. So here's a V-stitch, so you want to go in between and single crochet, chain 3, in between with a single crochet, and you just work that way all the way around, chaining 3, and then single crochet on the other side of your V-stitch all the way around to the beginning, where you will join with a slip stitch, and your dress will be done. The body of it will just do the tie. Okay, I've done the rest of the rows for my dress, and you can see the bottom here and what it looks like. And now I am ready to make the tie, and then it will be finished. So we're not going to use this right here. You can weave it in later. Go ahead in this corner and join your working yarn and chain 20. Okay, and that's gonna make our tie. We're just doing chains. We're not gonna make it real thick with a single crochet or anything like that. Grab my scissors, should have those out. And fasten it off. mine will cooperate. There we go. And then I went through with my other one and I wove this in along the lines here. Let me get her out and I will show you. All right, her hair's in the way. You can see right here, it's just 2 chains. So you'll join on the other side, do exactly the same. When I wove it in, I just kind of wove it in a little bit here and then back. That's why this end is a little bit thicker. And then you can just tie it shut. Now, of course, you could always add a little button here if you like. You can add another tie, so to pull it in more. You could also crochet, just kind of free-form crochet right here, connecting in this area if you don't like it so open. This is your doll. It is totally up to you. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with her. This is my first doll, so I decided to leave her that way, leave her dressed, but I'm going to be making more of these dolls because I really like them. And I'll be doing different kinds of outfits for them. So that will finish up your dress. And now she has, let's see, this blue one. And it just worked out really nice, I said before, where this changed color from nice purple down to gray. And then when I made the small doll's dress, I pulled out all the gray because after I made the shoes, oop, her shoe came off. After I made the shoes, then I was able to pull out all the gray and start with just a blue. So that's how I did that with my skein here. You can see now I saw some blue and some purple, plenty more stuff to do. This was the first time I had used this yarn and I really, really like it. I shall definitely be using it again. Like it for the dolls, and I just overall it had a nice feel and a drape to it. So if you're ever out and you see it, you want a nice cake, I would recommend this one. But you don't have to use that for your dolls. You can use whatever yarn that you like, and especially at this time, we're not out shopping like we were before. You can use any yarn you already have on hand because most of us have a nice stash. So that's the dress. We'll come back in a few and we'll do the boots together. Okay, now we're going to do the little boots. Remember, she's a straight toe, so there's no shaping on this, but when you put on the boot, you got a little foot part of it. So we're going to work this. It's worked in the round until you get to the heel flap, and then we'll work back and forth in rows, and then we'll come back around and work in the round again up on this part. So you're going to need your yarn. If you're using the DK cake like I did, just pull out the section you're going to do. I'm going to do this one in blue because it's already there to make a little blue boots. And you will need the same size hook, a yarn needle, your stitch marker, and some scissors. Okay, we're going to start with the magic ring again. We're going to cross it over, hold the yarn tail, grab my hook, which I got put over here. Oh. It's a little bit harder for me with this yarn for some reason. There we go. Oh. There we go. Chain 1, and just like the foot, we're going to make 6 stitches in here. And then we're going to pull it tight. Okay, we're going to work just like the foot, 2 single crochet in each stitch. So go ahead and work in here. All right, I've got my stitch marker handy, and I'm going to put it in right here, my first stitch. There we go. So you're going to have 12 stitches. I used to be lazy and not use a stitch marker, and it really helps. So these are inexpensive. If you don't have them, I would recommend picking up a set, or really you can use a bobby pin or just anything to let you know that that is stitch 1. Okay, now work 3 rounds even in single crochet, and we'll come back and do the heel flap. Here I am through row 5. See the beginning of my boot taking shape. Now I'm going to turn at this point for the heel flap and chain 1. Now we're going to single crochet right here in this first spot where we were and go across 6. I'll leave my stitch marker where it is for now. You won't need it for just a little bit. So we're going halfway around our boot. Okay, 6. And now turn, chain 1, and go back over the same 6th. Okay, so we got that little piece there, turn. And we're going to start decreasing. Now this is okay to do the single crochet 2 together. I didn't find that it made a difference on this. So single crochet 2 together, single crochet 2, and then single crochet 2 together. And now you will have 4 stitches. Oh, mine's getting so tight. Okay, turn, chain 1, and you'll single crochet 2 together twice. So you'll end up with 2 stitches. Turn again, chain 1, single crochet 2 together, and you are left with 1 stitch. Now you're going to take off your stitch marker at this point, and you're going to put it in your 1 stitch. Okay, so you got this kind of triangle going on here, and your little cupped part down there for the boot. And now we're going to work down the side of the triangle, around the boot, and up the other side. If I can put my hook back in here, there we go. Now we're not going to chain 1 on this point. Okay, that's what it's doing. Make sure you're looking at the right direction. You're going to single crochet 4 stitches down the side. Either end. Okay, 1. It doesn't really matter. You'll have to skip somewhere eventually because you've got, looks like 2, 3, 4, and then the space. I'm probably not, I don't use this space right here. So I'll just go ahead, work in here. 2, 3. There's not really a rhyme or reason to exactly where you have to put your hook. So there are 4. And then I'm going to single crochet the 6 that were here already. Eventually, a lot of times I'll go ahead and tuck in that tail, especially once it starts getting in my way like this. You can always go back and weave it in later. Or if it really bothers you, you could weave it in at this point. Okay, here's 6. And I will. I'm going to go ahead and tuck that in because it's really getting on my nerves. There we go. And now I want to work, I want to work up the other side the same way with 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll work 1 in this very first. Right there. And so now we're working from the inside, just a little strange. Now, but you've got a little shoe already, you can see. And so what we're going to do now is you just work even around these 15 stitches. Let me get off Morgan's shoe here. So you work even for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if you wanted to have taller boots, you could do more than 5, or shorter, you could do less. I did 5 on mine, and this is how it turned out. So you just work even in single crochet. It looks a little weird at first, but then it turns into a nice shape like this, and it fits her foot really well. So just work even, and your boot will be done, and you can just work your second boot.